the possible date of Bhagavan's reappearance in the same form would be sometime in 2014 or before. But only Bhagavan knows. This is just what he inspired me at that time, and I had to put that in the book.
He had to put that in this book about the possible reappearance of Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba in human form. That is the increasingly strong view of many, including the view of Sreejith Narayan of New Jersey, the author of Sai, Thy Kingdom Come, now available worldwide in 12 languages.
And even when Swami comes back, that should be our focus, that we should still try and see Swami beyond his form and realize that Swami is in each and every one in this world. Bhagavan is manifesting, even when he was in his body, he was manifesting his form in various places, multiple places at the same time. But when we talk about his reappearance, it would be an understanding that will prevail in the entire world that he has reappeared, whether we see Bhagavan's form or not. Swami has in various ways indicated to me, I should not wait for his return idly. I should keep on doing whatever I am supposed to do and not worry about what is going to happen in the future. This is my sadhana, and this is my message to everybody who is listening. Some close people may imply that, how come out of all the people you are writing about Bhagavan's return in the same form? And I tell them, this has nothing to do with formlessness. This has nothing to do with my own personal sadhana. This is all about how Bhagavan's words will come true. And I prayed for such a thing to happen. And Bhagavan's words will never fail. I'm completely confident on that. I'm 100% faith in that. And if Bhagavan's words will never fail, and Bhagavan has to do all those things while he was still in his body, the obvious thing that would happen is that Bhagavan would be returning in the same form as Sri Sathya Sai Baba.
Welcome to Souljourns and to the story behind the popular book Sai, Thy Kingdom Come. Whether a skeptic or someone open to the book's premise, this account is told by Sreejith Narayan holds intrigue and revelation for many. This interview was recorded in Dayton, New Jersey in the summer of 2013.
Sairam Sreejith.
Sairam.
What a great opportunity to talk to you about a book that Jody and I learned about a long time ago and both love. But before we get to that, and it's very important that we get there, but it's also important to set the stage. How and when did you become a follower of Holy Man Sri Sathya Sai Baba?
It was in the early 90s. My father first came to Swami's fold. And I remember he brought a glass framed picture of Bhagavan to our house. And there was an argument with my mother. She didn't like the picture to be brought in and put it along with the other gods in the house. So she resisted. And after some time, the picture broke, shattered, as if somebody took a hammer and banged at it. So my mom got scared. She said, oh, Sathya Sai Baba has some powers, I should not mess with him. So she let eventually my father to keep the picture along with the other gods in the prayer room. But I was a skeptic. I was in college at that time. I was a skeptic. None of my friends did believe in Swami, and they used to make fun of anybody who believed in Swami. So I didn't want to have anything to do with Bhagavan. But when my parents went to Puttaparthi, I had to go. They didn't give me a choice, so I had to go with them. And then I was sitting in the darshan line. Swami came. We were in the first row. And at that time, as soon as I saw him and the way he was walking towards us and his face, I knew that Swami was divine. I don't know why. I mean, it's just that magnetic pull. When he calls, there is no resisting. That's what my experience was.
Let me just interrupt you here, because a lot of people see it just like you do, and others, such as myself and others, take a very slow, sometimes even tedious route to understand the magnitude of Sri Sathya Sai Baba. What do you suppose it was that accounted for you almost instantaneously drawing that same conclusion?
I don't know the answer to that, but I think it depends upon the way the guru and the disciple, the guru responds to the disciple and the disciple responds back. Each person has his own path, and that is a result of what we have already learned in our past lives and the present life. I felt as if I was meant to be there, and I had a previous relationship with him. And when he came, I was so fortunate to get Pad Namaskar. And as soon as I touched Swami's lotus feet, I was overwhelmed with joy. It was like a divine vibrations I felt. And I hear that so many devotees feel the same way when they first touch Swami's lotus feet. And from that point onwards, I didn't have to look back. I completely fell for him. And I came back home and I started reading Swami's books, whatever I could get my hands on, like discourses, Vahini series, experiences by other devotees. And eventually, like, I started getting Swami's dreams. And I used to have questions, and Swami used to come in the dreams and answer the questions. And even small things, like spiritual things, and how to get rid of your ego. And that's a big thing for me, really. But in the small ways, he was teaching me. And even, how not to quarrel, how to be quiet in such situations. Many things. I don't even remember, like, so many of the experiences.
Were you over there to see him very many times before his Mahasamadhi?
Yes, I used to go like at least every year. When I was in India, I used to go like whenever there was a volunteering opportunity. But when I moved to United States in '97, I used to go like every once in 2 years, maybe.
And, go ahead.
Yeah. So this dreams like continued for a while, and so he was establishing my faith in him slowly and slowly. And after a while, the dream stopped because Bhagavan said probably he thought that was enough, and I was in the right path. And from that point onwards, only life lessons and occasional dreams and things like that.
It's always good to know how people first arrive at Baba's doorstep. But people, when they hear these stories, like to know something about the person doing the talking too. So a little bit about your background here in America, your family, your job, children, and your major loves in your life.
Sure. I'm originally from Kerala in South India. I moved to United States. I'm a software engineer, so on job I moved to United States in '97. I'm here, I'm living in Dayton, New Jersey with my wife Suma and 2 children. My elder one, her name is Sneha. My younger one is a boy. His name is Sharan. As I said, I'm a software engineer. I partner a software consulting and development firm based in New Jersey and having offices in USA and India. So basically doing software related work.
Well, I think it's about time, Sreejith, that we talk a little bit about the major non-commercial work of your life up until this point. Goodness knows what more you're going to be achieving. But I know, like all of us, you were devastated at Baba's passing from his physical form, his Mahasamadhi. What was it that led you to your pursuit of the subject that's discussed expertly because of all the research entailed? In this wonderful book that's been available for Sai devotees for a long time called Sai Thy Kingdom Come, you call it a deliberation on the possibility of Sri Sathya Sai Baba's return. And you mean his literal return in his physical form.
Literal return in the same physical form as Sri Sathya Sai Baba.
Where on earth did this thought for you come from?
It's a short question but long answer. See, I have to start from the time when Swami left his body. That night I had a terrible experience. And it was the 24th April night. I was in deep sleep when I got a call from a Sai brother. He wanted to convey the news that Swami has left his body. And the shock of just waking up from sleep and then listening to this was irresistible, and I felt I was palpitating and going into a heart attack. Of such intense it was. And as it was happening, I immediately felt somebody patting on my right shoulders like this, as if to console me. So I was thinking, okay, it is my wife, Suma, and I turned around and she was just sitting like this on the other end of the bed. And immediately I realized that it was Swami. And I felt Swami's presence in the room. And immediately I calmed down, and it was an overwhelming presence such that he saved me from that terrible situation.
Now, you said you had been in a deep sleep when your friend called. You're quite sure you didn't fall back to sleep, but this wasn't an illusion. This
was not illusion, because I was thinking that it was my wife, so I'm not expecting Swami's pat on my shoulders. I was expecting that it was my wife. So I was in complete senses at that time.
And how long did it last?
It lasted like a few seconds, maybe 2 or 3 seconds, that's it. But it was so powerful.
Unmistakable.
Unmistakable.
And what makes you think it was Swami?
Because there was no one else there. But at that time I needed it, because it was an intense moment for me. And I never really felt sad after that Bhagavan left his body. But there's something in the corner of my heart was bothering me. And I started out to find out what it was. Because it was bothering me that I couldn't do anything else. I wanted to find out. So I started asking myself these questions. And I said, maybe because Bhagavan was in the hospital for so long and his body went through all these different things, so he must have been in pain, that's why I'm bothered. But then again the answer came from within, saying that no, Bhagavan is above the body consciousness. He doesn't feel the pain because he's not his body. So that was not what was bothering me. Then I thought maybe because I will miss his form, I won't be able to have his darshan again. Then again I thought, see, I go to Puttaparthi like once in 2 or 3 years. I am there for 3 days, recharge my batteries and come back. When I miss his form, I watch his beautiful videos, which I can do it even now. So, of course, who wouldn't want to have Swami's darshan again? But that was not the one thing that was bothering me. Then finally I found out what it was. Because when I came to Swami, I started out reading Bhagavan's so many books, discourses, and teachings, everything. And I used to be overwhelmed with joy reading about the glorious time that is awaiting us in the Sathya Sai avatar, from Swami's own words. And how Swami would bring about the golden age, how the world would be peaceful, all that would happen in the Sathya Sai avatar while he was still in his form. And I prayed for such a thing to happen. I wanted the whole world to have the same experience that I did. I know I transformed only because I came to Bhagavan. And I wanted that same opportunity for everyone else in this world. Then that has been my constant prayer till now. And each day I would include that in my prayer. And when Swami left, a thought overwhelmed me saying that, okay, now what will happen to all those things that Bhagavan said? How will the world get the same opportunity again? And immediately, I'm getting goosebumps.
Mm-hmm.
I heard this inner voice. And the inner voice said, my word will never fail. I'm truth. Whatever I say becomes truth. Why do you worry? Whatever I said will happen exactly the way I said it. Along those lines, I heard this. And at that moment, I came to peace with myself. And I never had this thought again because I knew Bhagavan was in control. There's nothing that we need to worry about. But I had to go back and read those statements again because I felt that getting back that joyous moments. And as I read through those words, I came to the understanding that some of the things that Bhagavan said could happen only when he would return in the same form, because he said he would do it while he was still in his form and body. And Bhagavan's words will never fail. I'm completely confident on that. I'm 100% faith in that. And if Bhagavan's words will never fail, and Bhagavan has to do all those things while he was still in his body, the obvious thing that would happen is that Bhagavan would be returning in the same form as Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Yet it remained as my personal conviction, secret conviction I would say. I wouldn't say this out to anybody because nobody would accept this as a fact. I talked to only like a few close people that I had. And I never did think of writing a book or anything like that. In 2012, January, towards the end of January, I suddenly had an urge to put together an article. And the article theme was why I believe Swami was not speaking in lunar years. Because during that time, it was an accepted fact all over the Sai world that Swami was speaking in lunar years. And even official circles announced this. First I heard about it, I thought, okay, it's interesting. But I immediately knew that Bhagavan wouldn't talk about in some vague language like that. Because Bhagavan is universal avatar. He wouldn't talk about his lifetime in some calendar that is not used universal. But I had to see it for myself, so I went and saw Bhagavan's words, which convinced me that he was not speaking in lunar years. So I started writing out my thoughts on that. And one thing led to the other, one thing led to the other. And I felt the Swami's unseen hands guiding me. And before I knew that, I had a book material in my hands. It was not an article anymore. I had to call it a book, and I had to publish it.
But you didn't stop just with Swami's words, did you? You
Yes.
obtained and researched and
Exactly.
checked and double and triple checked the veracity of many other people's words about the same thing.
Exactly. So mainly, as I said, the point I wanted to raise when I started the article was that we don't have to defend Bhagavan's words. If it's clear to us that Bhagavan's words has not come true yet, instead of believing that, into doing a vague interpretation of Swami's words to make it look like it has already happened, instead of that, believe in the certainty of his words. That was the message I wanted to convey with that article. Because we don't have to defend Bhagavan's words. I mean, he is God. And when God says something, it just happens. And I also thought that who are we defending? And against whom? Because the whole world is Swami's mansion, and all are his devotees, even though they don't know it or not. So I started writing along these lines, and what I saw in Bhagavan's words, he never said that whole number of years that he would be in his body. He said, in 1960, he said, I would be in my body for 59 years more. And in 61, he said 58 years more. And in 76, he said 46 years more. So if we look at the lunar years, that is 27 days a month calendar, if 59 would never come out to 2011, it's much later than that, even 58 or 46 for that matter. So it's clear to me that Bhagavan was not speaking in his lunar years.
So in other words, you believe wholeheartedly that he intent all along, as he sort of verified to you with the different utterances at different years, that he meant to live by a universal yearly standard to the age of 96.
Well, there is a catch there.
Oh, okay.
So, like earlier, like before Swami left, long time ago, I read like Swami saying that I would be in my form or body for 94 years. Then sometimes Swami would say 96 years. So I would ask Swami, can you stick on to at least 1 year, whether it's 96 or 94, please tell us. Jokingly, I used to tell Swami, I mean, in my own mind. And then, some books took the middle ground and said 95, but Swami never said 95. So it was going on, and I knew that there's some catch there, because Swami doesn't make mistakes, and he was deliberately playing with us. He's deliberately creating this confusion. But I left it at that, because I knew that we're going to find out one day. So when I started writing this article, then I had to go back and see those statements by Bhagavan that he had mentioned about his earthly sojourn. And I saw that whenever Swami mentioned 94, he said, I will be in my form or body for that many years. Mm-hmm. Whenever he said 96, he said, I will live till 96 years age. So I kept on thinking, how can someone live till the age of 96, yet be in his body or form for only 94 years? Only Bhagavan can do that. How? Just disappear for a couple of years in between, come back and finish till 96 years. And immediately it struck me, and I said, okay, this is what Bhagavan is telling us, because none of the Bhagavan's words are in vain, are taken in vain. Everything has a meaning, deep meaning, only if we want to try and find out. So 94 to 96 is actually 3 years, because from beginning to 94, 95 and 96, 3 years. That's why I put in the book that the possible date of Bhagavan's reappearance in the same form would be sometime in 2014 or before. Mm-hmm. But only Bhagavan knows. This is just what he inspired me at that time, and I had to put that in the book. But then, as I was having the discussions with some devotees, they said, so what? Bhagavan can change his plans and leave his body at any time. He can change his plans. But to me, that's the most absurd thing, because avatars don't change their plans. There is no reason, or there is no force in the earth that would make Bhagavan change his plans. Bhagavan once said, every step in the career of this avatar is already predetermined. He probably already chose the little grain of sand that he would step on. Such is Swami's planning. So it's really is not in our wisdom that we should say something like Bhagavan would change his plans. And I had to put the words that Bhagavan himself says, that he would never change his plan no matter what happens. His mission will go on exactly the way he is planned. And when Swami said 96 or 94, at that time Bhagavan would have already known what is going to happen in the future and would have said that instead of saying 96 or 94. So that was one of the chapters that I had to put in. Then came various words of Bhagavan that in the future, that the things that he would do, like golden age, for example. Bhagavan said to his slope that by the time Prema Sai comes, the world would be peaceful. And Swami himself says Sathya Sai Baba, Sathya Sai Avatar would bring about the golden age, and Prema Sai would sustain the golden age. So those things are yet to happen, and many glorious things that Bhagavan said are yet to happen in the Sathya Sai Avatar. So I had to dedicate a chapter for that. Then, as you were asking, that some of the clues and some of the materials that I had put in, like the nadis, for example. Mm-hmm. See, I am a great believer in the nadi readings. Nadis are sacred palm leaf texts written by sages of ancient India thousands of years ago. And it outlines the career, characteristics, family history, spiritual life, of many individuals who are believed to come and read those nadis at particular times. Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba's avataric career is also mentioned in the nadis. And this I have read long time ago in certain books, and it also came in Sanatana Sarathi. So I was interested in nadis, and in 97, 98 time frame, I went and saw my nadis. And it clearly said all the different things about myself, my parents' names, my career, my education, all the things that had happened till now. And then it also said many things about my future, how my marriage would be, that I would have 2 children, 1 boy, 1 girl. So everything that was said in nadis has happened exactly the way it was said. It also talks about my guru, Sri Sathya Sai Baba, who would be the avatar of Shiva and Shakti. And one particular thing that I would like to mention here is, it says, you would write books about your guru, Sri Sathya Sai Baba. And in that book, it says, you will write about the greatness of nadis.
Mm. And you have.
I had a book in mind, and I got Swami's blessings in 97 before moved to USA to write a book. But I had a different theme in my mind, and I had collected so many quotes and different materials for that book. Yet for 15 years I could not do anything with that. And in that book, I was thinking how I am going to include a chapter in nadis, because it had nothing to do with nadis or anything of that sort. So when this book was being written also, there was no plans or anything like that. But towards the mid of February, I received this book, Sacred Nadi Readings, by Sri Vasanta Sai in Madurai. Sri Vasanta Sai is an elevated soul, divine soul. She lives in her ashram in Madurai. And when Swami left his body, she wanted to find out what is being written in nadis about Swami's early disappearance. And she sent one of her associates to Vaitishwaran temple. It's a temple in South India, in Tamil Nadu, where the nadis are preserved. So what was written in those nadis are really mind-boggling, because it clearly says Bhagavan is going to come back in the same form as Sri Sathya Sai Baba. It also says Bhagavan will return in a younger looking form and will remain in the earth for 7 more years after his reappearance. Many changes will happen in this earth during that time frame, and Bhagavan's mission will be completed in those 7 years before Prema Sai is going to come.
Either in those books or in your own imagination, have you given much thought and have you come to any conclusions as to why Baba obviously found it necessary to leave the world for a couple of years?
Yes, and this is all part of Swami's plan. And as I told you, this 94-96 play that he made. And he also said to some devotees, and this I came to know really like in a few months ago, that Swami said to some close devotees that even though my avataric career will be for 96 years, I will be available for only 94 years.
Ah.
And he also said to some others that there will be a time when I won't be giving darshan for few years. So obviously, none of the devotees who heard that thought that it was this way, like Bhagavan leaving his body would be the way that he would be not giving his darshan or not available per se. And this is all part of Bhagavan's plan. And we should also understand, and this I have put in the book as well, that Bhagavan was absorbing the world's karma. And by leaving his body, he absorbed that karma into each cell of his body and then blasted it. And that's the only way the golden age can happen, because if you look at it, the world has absorbed so much karma, and there's billions of people in this world. And how the golden age, we are not even deserving the golden age. The only way we can deserve it is from the grace of the Lord. And the grace of the Lord has to come only if the karma can be removed.
Well, some of the people who hear what you're saying still suffer, or maybe they are correct for all I know, because I'm as curious as anybody else as to what really is going on here, where Sri Sathya Sai all forecast the emergence of Prima Sai, and some people now see that with Sathya Sai's passing of the physical form, that the next on the horizon will be Prima Sai. And I'm wondering, what do you say to people who come back to you and say, Sreejith, everything you say I believe, but it sounds like you're talking about Prima Sai, not Sathya Sai.
See, I believe in Bhagavan coming in the same form. Just because Swami has said so many things that he would do in the Sathya Sai avatar. So, to me, the question I would like to ask is, what guarantee is there that he would even be back as Prema Sai? He could have changed his mind on that too. You know? So my point is, if we are not ready to fully believe what Swami said about his present avatar, how are we going to believe in what he said about his future avatar? So we cannot have both. We either have to have full faith in all of his words, or we should not believe in them at all.
Of course, there's always another perspective called the middle ground. Could there possibly be ever, in your estimation, an overlapping of the physical presence of both Sathya Sai and Prima Sai?
Yes, that I've thought, and some divine souls have expressed this possibility as well, because it is our own limitation that makes us think that Sathya Sai has to stop and then Prema Sai has to begin. Bhagavan has no such limitations, so it could, anything can happen at this point.
Yeah.
So I agree with you totally, and because Bhagavan can do anything, and we should believe that Bhagavan can do anything, and this is a possibility.
Sreejith, when you sat down to write this book, after it became crystal clear in your mind that you had to follow through with what your inner voice is guiding you to do, did you give much thought then, and do you give much thought now, to what I'm just going to guess is some opposing viewpoint about this? In other words, you're aware that there can easily be controversy surrounding such a premise, such a thesis as yours. A lot of people have the viewpoint that we have heard everything from Baba's own lips, and why isn't that sufficient? Why do we have to believe? Why can't we be satisfied that that was what Baba was here in the physical form to give us? Why should we feel, even in our arrogance, some might suggest, that he's going to return to finish his conversation with us? How would you, and probably you've already had to deal with this, how do you respond to such criticism that why should there be the need for him to return?
Yes, I have encountered these criticisms a lot. Even though I don't pay much attention, just for the sake of this interview, I would like to express some of my views.
Mm-hmm.
So, even the people close to me, because I had been an advocate or proponent of the view that we have to go beyond Swami's form, even much before Bhagavan left his body. So, somebody like some close people may imply that, how come out of all the people you are writing about Bhagavan's return in the same form? And I tell them, this has nothing to do with formlessness. This has nothing to do with my own personal sadhana. This is all about how Bhagavan's words will come true. See, even from the point of Swami's avatar declaration, countless times in his discourses, Swami has asked devotees that they have to go beyond Swami's form. So I don't feel that just because Bhagavan left that we now have a reason or we should go beyond Swami's form. We should have been doing all the way along. And even when Swami comes back, that should be our focus, that we should still try and see Swami beyond his form and realize that Swami is in each and every one in this world. So at the same time, the book theme or thesis is about Bhagavan's words coming true. I'll give you an example. So I don't believe right now that Bhagavan would come in his physical form to my home, because I know it's not probably not a possibility. But if Bhagavan tells me, Sreejith, I'm going to come to your house in my physical form, at that time I start yearning for it. Because Bhagavan said so, and I know it will happen. Like that, I yearn for those things to happen only because Bhagavan said so. It's not my wish or it's not my wishful thinking. Bhagavan said so, and I know for sure, I'm confident those things will happen. Why should I worry about it? Like in 65th birthday, Swami said, in the next year I will inaugurate a super specialty hospital in Puttaparthi. So it's obvious that he has to build the hospital first to inaugurate it. So some things would go without saying. He doesn't have to specifically say, I have to build the hospital first. The same way, many of Swami's words should go without saying that those things will happen only when Swami is there in his physical form. And that is the basis of this book. And it has nothing to do with formlessness. Even when Swami comes back, there will be no place to stand, even Swami says. So, right? So what is the point in going there and having Swami's darshan? See, if somebody really wants to have Swami's darshan, and that's why they are yearning for Swami's return, there is another way to do it. Because Bhagavan said once, you concentrate intensely on me for 11 seconds, I will manifest in front of you. Bhagavan said this. This is something that we have in our hands, even though it's so difficult to do it, but still it's something that Bhagavan gave us. It's in our hands to do it. So such devotees who really yearn for his form, we can try and do that as a sadhana. But so Bhagavan's return, at least in my mind, is not so that we can have his physical darshan again, because it will be near to impossible anyways. The whole world will be, trying to make up for their lost time and to catch up, because so much of time they lost that they could have been with the avatar. So in such situations, we should never really focus on Bhagavan's physical form again. But at the same time, it's an understanding. When Bhagavan says something, we did not ask why. Why is Bhagavan saying that all those things is going to happen? We did not ask why. So even now, we should not ask why that he should return. It's not a why at all.
This is your thesis, and then you're the author of this book, but I never thought until a second ago to ask you, Sreejith, do you personally believe he's going to return in the physical form soon?
Absolutely.
And do you know where he might return? Here we are in Dayton, New Jersey, a hamlet of a couple of thousand people, not too far from the Jersey shore. Might it be here? Might it be Puttaparthi? Might it be Timbuktu? Any idea where he's going to return?
From various things that Bhagavan has said, and Bhagavan has indicated to some great souls, I believe that it would be in Puttaparthi, but whole world is his mansion, you'll never know. And I would like to mention some things like in Dr. Hanumantappa, late Dr. Hanumantappa was the Vice Chancellor of Sri Sathya Sai University. He used to have so many dreams about Bhagavan, and he wrote a book based on Bhagavan's dreams. The book name is Sri Sathya Sai Baba, a Yuga Avatar. And in one of the chapters, it says the future vision of Puttaparthi or something like that. And in that, he clearly gives a description of a dream that Bhagavan gave him, and he shows how the future Puttaparthi would look like. And Bhagavan has changed his residence to a huge mansion on top of a hill, and the hill is guarded by soldiers. And Puttaparthi is a vibrant town. There are colonies built all around Puttaparthi from different countries, and Bhagavan would come out and give darshan. He would come out and he would travel along a bridge over Chitravati river. It's an amazing chapter, So, and after Swami left his body, with Bhagavan's grace, I have been in touch, and because of the book, I've been in touch with so wonderful, great souls, Sai devotees, all over the world. and they have been getting dreams, visions. Swami is even coming to them and giving them indications about his return. And from those sources, I believe that glorious times are awaiting us, and Puttaparthi would be the center of all this action. That's what I believe.
Some people, quite a few people who step along with you about this feeling that Sai Baba is going to return in the form, have suggested it might be 6 months, 6 days, 6 weeks, a year after he left his physical form. Well, as we sit here now, I think tomorrow's the 1st of July. We're already more than halfway through the year 2013. Do you have any idea when he might return, and are you disappointed it hasn't happened yet?
The answer is no, that I'm not disappointed. And about your question, like when, I do not know. The book was based on Swami's words alone. And that words make me believe that because of this indications that he has given in his own discourses, that it would be sometime in 2014 or earlier, any time from now till end of 2014. That's what I believe.
So that's a year and a half.
Year and a half.
And a couple of quick questions that people, I think, always want to know about this, because lots of people are right in the middle of the spectrum, and they might say, what about the fear that this possibly could cloud people's devotion to Baba, whether they should focus more on Baba's physical form in Puttaparthi or wherever, if he returns one day, or search within to find Baba there more? Can you see how this could bring to some confusion to some people?
Many people have written to me after reading the book that this book restored their faith. Some people have approached it in a different way. So each person perceives the book in a different way. But my message in the book was not to go after Swami's form again.
Mm-hmm.
And can I tell one story, one
Sure.
miracle that happened with
yes.
the book? So after a few months, after writing the book was only available as an e-book, and the printed version was not out yet. And I received an email from a devotee named Ben, who lives close to London. And in the email he says, I would like to have a printed version of this book, and would you be able to tell me where I can get one copy? So I wrote to him saying that the published version is not available yet. I would let you know when it's eventually be published. So he thanked me, and we left it at that. And when the book was published, then I wrote to him saying that the book is available in so and so place. Then he wrote to me a big email about the dramatic circumstances that he had encountered, which led to him to know about the book. And in the email he said he was in one of the satsangs in London, and in the satsang there was a lady speaker. She had held many high positions in the Sai organization, and she was speaking about how she came to Bhagavan, and how Bhagavan helped her in many ways. But when Bhagavan left, her faith was shaken, and she cried and cried. And she prayed to Bhagavan, what is going on? You said you'll live till 96 years. Give me a sign. And Bhagavan came in her dream and said, have faith. Everything what I have said will happen exactly how I said it. And Bhagavan also revealed her some of the details. Few days later, she receives a copy of the book Sai Thy Kingdom Come. There's no postal mark. There's no sender's address. And she was overjoyed because exactly it outlined whatever Swami had told her in the dream. So she took as a confirmation. And she lifted the book and showed it to the audience as well. Now the biggest question for me and Ben was, who sent the book to that lady even before it was published?
Yes.
So here I was going on saying that I have to publish this book, I have to do that, do this, and Bhagavan has already published it. and send it to the person who he wanted to. So who am I?
Gee, if I were
It
in your
has-
shoes, I'd want to track that lady down and look at that book. And
I already
scratch my head.
contacted her through Ben, but she said wait, because she's waiting for a confirmation from Bhagavan
Yeah.
so that she can interact with me about the miracle. So
Keep going.
so here I am thinking that I am doing everything, and Bhagavan himself showed me. It's a lesson to me that I am not the doer. I have nothing to do with it, and Swami has in various ways indicated to me I should not wait for his return idly. I should keep on doing whatever I am supposed to do and not worry about what is going to happen in the future.
This is
And this is my sadhana, and this is my message to everybody who is listening, that Bhagavan's return is an understanding, it's not a wait. But just that understanding would give that extra impetus to intensify our inner journey and do it with more vigor and enthusiasm. And it will help in our journey to formlessness, because Bhagavan himself has said, has outlined the kind of sadhana that each and everybody, every one of his devotees should do. And that is what my opinion is.
Jody writes here that indicates to some that you feel he did not do enough already. Do you want to explain more about that question? I'm not sure if I understand it. Pardon? Oh yeah, we have encountered people, friends of ours, who love Baba, and they still believe that, why not be satisfied that he's done more than enough already? But you've already covered it pretty well, that this is about how we possibly misunderstood what he said about his lifespan on this earth, that he's not done yet.
Bhagavan has done enough for us, and we have received his blessings. We have our golden age right in our hearts. And this is not about us. The less than 1% of the population that is now as Sai devotees. We have to know why Bhagavan called us earlier. And it's not about like whether Bhagavan gave something to us already. How we use it, and how we use it for the benefit of others. If you keep on doing this sadhana and in our journey to formlessness, the byproduct of that journey is the unadulterated love that we will feel in our heart. And that love will make you feel that each and everybody in this world would get a chance to experience Bhagavan, exactly the way he said it. And so if we don't feel that in our heart, then we should question ourselves whether we are that far into our sadhana and trying to achieve that goal of formlessness.
So the question is that his return in the physical form might have far less to do with those of us who have already been his followers than the people who have still never heard his name, who are yet to become aware of his presence among them.
Well, there's a lot to do for us, because in Charles Penn's message, Bhagavan said, each and every devotee has an opportunity to become partner in my mission. And we have to understand the reason why Bhagavan called us earlier than many others. And if you look at it, whoever is in the path already may not need Swami's return. But there is an opportunity for such devotees to become instruments in his mission. Like in Swami's birthdays, usually 100,000 people come, devotees gather at Prashanthi Nilayam during Bhagavan's birthday. And at least 1,000 volunteers are needed to make sure there is discipline and attend to the devotees' needs. Bhagavan says the whole world will become Prashanthi Nilayam. So wouldn't he need at least a few million volunteers all over the world? And that is the opportunity that is being presented to us.
Sreejith, what keeps you going? You've got your own business, you've got a thriving household here, a beautiful family, you've got much on your plate, and yet the research, the one disadvantage of a video interview is that we can't get into the voluminous research that's contained within your book. All sorts of sources, backed up with quotes, references, verifying the mathematics, verifying what's been said and forecast by others, that really does help bolster your case about Baba's imminent return to the physical form. Where do you find the energy, space, and time for this?
That's a great question. And many readers who have read this book tell me, I don't even know how you finished this in 3 months. And I said, it's not me, it's Bhagavan. Because I have 100% conviction that I didn't write this book. And there is so many things like we do as householders and because of our work. Still Bhagavan gave me the energy and he miraculously led me to various sources like the nadis and the Biharul Anwar. I would like to talk about Biharul Anwar also a little bit after this. And these are the things that it just came to me, I should say, rather miraculously. So I knew that Bhagavan was guiding me through all these things. And after the book was written, I put my name as S. Narayan when I released the book. I did not put my full name because I was fully convinced that it was Bhagavan who wrote the book. And S stood for Satya, not for Sreejith. Sathya Narayan, which is Bhagavan's birth name. So when the book was released, after a few days, Bhagavan came to a great soul and whom I know through another friend and said, ask him to put his full name in the book.
Your full name.
My full name. And Bhagavan also said, the book is my gift to you, to him. When I give a ring or a bracelet as a gift, the devotees proudly wear them. So ask him to proudly put his name in the book. So that's when I put the book name in my book. And then Bhagavan came to my sister-in-law, Millie's dream. She was translating the book to Malayalam and said, that book is the wisdom I granted to Sreejith. He came and told this in the dream. So she called me in the one of the mornings and said, see, Bhagavan came to me and told this in the dream, and I was so happy. Then again, Bhagavan, after a few days, again came her in her dream and said, I did not say I granted him the wisdom. I gifted it to him. And he said gift a few times. He was emphasizing the point that it was a gift. So it was a gift from Bhagavan to me, but I can lay no claim on that. I'm confident that Bhagavan himself wrote the book. And after writing the book, I was praying to him that, Bhagavan, nobody knows this Sreejith Narayan. I have no credibility against my name. No one hardly knows my name. So who is going to read this book? That's when Bhagavan sent me two wonderful souls, famous devotees in Sai world, to write the foreword of the book. And I am sure you will know their names.
I don't think I
know. The names are Jody Cleary and Ted Henry. So, and then Julie Chowdhury and Captain Shah wrote the forward. They're from India.
I see.
So the credibility stamp was put in.
Charles Ogata has a few kind words to say about this great book too. Yet we still have to deal with the fact, you primarily, that there are people who take a defiant viewpoint only because in their heart of hearts, I'm sure they feel they're protecting Baba. And again, a comment and a question. My guess is, the comment is that maybe most of those devotees who feel so strongly that way might be older, let's say more entrenched in Baba's fold, and for their own reasons of protecting his legacy, his mission, his love, they feel they have to say this. They may not even read the book. In fact, my guess is that many don't. They make up their minds rather quickly. But perhaps some of them might prevail upon themselves to look at the video. It's a little easier to read than a book, and it's a little quicker to take it in. Take the moment that you have now to speak to them. I'm sure you love them no less than you love anyone else. and I'm sure you don't have any criticism about their critical views. But what might you say that could be a balm to their ears about this?
I would say that give the book a chance. You don't have to read the book because either you believe in Swami's coming back in the form or not. But there are so many words that so many people tell me, I didn't even know that Bhagavan said all those things. Because Bhagavan's words are like the way we live our lives is through Bhagavan's words. Each and every Sai devotee follow his words literally. And we have the right to know what Bhagavan said about various things. And that's one thing that could be useful if people read this book. And also, as I have put in my book already, that this book is not about going after Swami's physical form. Swami has given us plenty of opportunities, but at the same time, Bhagavan's mission still remains incomplete. Many people tell me that now Bhagavan has left, we have to take his mission forward. But even if the whole humanity join hands and try hard, we cannot even move his mission even a millimeter forward.
Jody wrote down a quick little saying here. All we are saying is give Sai a chance.
Give Sai a chance.
You see the humor here. And you see also the depth of what many people feel is solid truth. I mean, you do. I remember first talking to you, correct me if I'm wrong, where you were saying, let's just discuss this idea. This is my hypothesis, my thesis. Why shouldn't you look at the quotes from various sources and scholars in the past who have forecasted this? But you're saying quite differently now, he's coming back. So have you seen your own point of view grow towards that ultimate conclusion?
Yes, because see, it's my viewpoint is always, has always been, just live in the present, not worry about anything. So I started out the book with that message, not worry about what Bhagavan said, but the way he has led me to various things, it made me believe that Bhagavan is going to come back.
And he's given you many leelas.
Many leelas to make this happen. So it was my own, it was like Bhagavan was taking me from here to there. And at the same time, Bhagavan asked me to be cautious. Do not love the book more than you love me. And Bhagavan came in my dream a few days ago and said, love me, love me, love me. He was saying like that. He was not even looking at my face. And I got the answer. I got the message that, see, I should not love my work more than I love the Lord. He is a creator. I should be after the creator, not the creation. So it's a spiritual journey for me. It keeps me thinking about Bhagavan, but at the same time, I would like to live in the present and not worry about what is going to happen in the future.
And the last question is, what about those people, since Baba's Mahasamadhi, have already seen his return in the physical form? 2 days ago, we had the great privilege to sit and talk with and interview Phyllis Crystal for maybe the 5th time. She's facing 100 years of age on this earth. She's now well into her 99th year. And she related to us very quickly going to the dentist in Switzerland. And the Swiss dentist knew nothing about Sai Baba, presumably whatsoever. And he leaned over and asked while she was in the chair having her teeth examined, do you know who Sai Baba is? And she said, well, yes, of course I know who he is. And then he said, well, he's sitting in the chair right here. I mean, these stories sometimes come from sources that aren't so credible, and then sometimes come from a 99-year-old Sai Baba devotee who's totally credible. Pardon me? And to new devotees as well. Jody and I have both encountered people where we live who are totally new to Baba after his Mahasamadhi, to whom he has appeared. So just conclude speaking a little bit about the part of the prediction which has already come true to many around the earth. That Baba's already here.
Yes.
In the
And-
form.
Exactly. Bhagavan has never left, and Bhagavan will never leave. Bhagavan is manifesting, even when he was in his body, he was manifesting his form in various places, multiple places at the same time. But when we talk about his reappearance, it would be an understanding that will prevail in the entire world that he has reappeared. Whether we see Bhagavan's form or not, it is an understanding that will prevail, because only such a thing can transform this world. Because if you'll ask me why I was transformed, and I know that I'm a work in progress, but I'm saying that I'm much better than who I was before. Only because I came to Bhagavan. I was a devotee of Lord Krishna, and most of the teachings that Bhagavan has been teaching, I have already read in some ways or the other in other religious texts, but I didn't have any inner motivation to change, because there was nothing that would inspire me to change until I came to Bhagavan, and then I knew that Bhagavan was the same Lord Krishna, and the avatar was walking among us. That is the motivation, that is the inspiration that I had to change, and that is the only thing that can change. Avatar's physical presence is the only thing that can transform this whole world. Otherwise, why Bhagavan would come in these three different avatars and descend from his godly being and walk with us, teach us in his form. So that's the only reason why I believe that it's a universal reappearance, at least an understanding that will prevail in the whole world, that Swami has reappeared, and that would kickstart the golden age.
Sreejith, this has been a delight. Thank you so much for your candor, your courage. It requires somebody of some brave stature to come forth and speak as you do and have and continue to do. Thank you so much, Sai Ram.
Thank you. And can I take a short moment to show my gratitude to Bhagavan, my heartfelt gratitude to Swami for giving me this opportunity. And I also would like to extend my gratitude to Brother Ted and Sister Jody for being such wonderful instruments in his divine hands and bringing out such beautiful, inspiring videos and messages of Bhagavan, interviews. And I cannot tell you how much my family has enjoyed watching those videos. So I am so thankful. Jai Sai Ram.
Jai Sai Ram.
Wanted to say that too.
But that was Bhagavan's way of knowing. Whatever happened is the right thing.
You need to hear it.
Yeah.
Hear it. And the point you hit so strongly is that same way whether it comes back or not.
Exactly. And it's
Doesn't
true that
change.
we think that Bhagavan has to come back, because we want this opportunity for everybody. Our selfishness will dissolve it.
It's the samadhi and two of them who,